Be honest for a second. Have you ever opened an open world game, finished one mission, and then just kept going for no reason? No quest, no reward. You're just riding, walking, exploring, because the world feels right. That's the difference between a good open world and a forgettable one. It's not about big maps or 1,000 icons. It's about worlds that pull you in and don't let go. So here's the question. Which open world game made you lose track of time the most? Today, we're talking about the best open world games, the ones that truly hook you and make exploration fun, not a chore. Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of those games that sets the bar so high it's hard to even see the top of the mountain from where other games stand. It's an absolute beast of a game, and every time you think you've seen it all, it pulls you deeper into its world, making you realize that it's not just a game, it's a living, breathing universe. First off, the story. Holy hell, the story. You're Arthur Morgan, a member of the Vanderlyn gang, and right from the start, you're sucked into this gritty, emotional journey that doesn't just tell you a story, it makes you feel it. Arthur's struggle between loyalty to his gang and realizing they're heading down a dangerous road is something you'll feel in your gut. It's one of those stories that sticks with you long after you finish the game. The characters, they're all memorable, each one with their own unique personalities and struggles. You'll love some, hate others, but all of them leave an impression.
By some hill country sheriff stealing a chicken, I think it was.
The world of Red Dead Redemption 2 is just insane. You're not just playing through a bunch of missions, you're living in this massive open world environment that feels real. Like if you stop and look around, you'll see everything from wildlife to weather changes to NPCs going about their daily lives. You can hunt, fish, rob trains, or just get lost in the beauty of the game's wilderness. The attention to detail is next level. You can literally feel the cold when you're out in the snow, or sweat as you ride through the heat of the desert. It's like Rockstar took everything they learned from Grand Theft Auto and turned it up to 11, with the added depth of the Old West. And the gameplay, it's all about the immersion. The shooting feels solid, the horseback riding is smooth, and the way you interact with the world is intuitive but not oversimplified. Every interaction feels weighty, like there are consequences to what you do. You want to play the hero? Go ahead, help out strangers, but be ready to carry the weight of your choices. You want to be a ruthless outlaw? You can go down that path too, but don't be surprised when it all starts catching up to you. Every action, every decision matters, and that's a rare thing in games today.
Now you keep your mouth shut.
Let's not forget about the side activities. Sure, you could stick to the main story, but you'll be doing yourself a huge disservice. There are so many things to do in the game, like hunting legendary animals, playing poker, treasure hunting, or even just sitting around the campfire and listening to stories. It's all part of the experience, and it gives the game an incredible sense of depth. And if the story and world weren't enough, the visuals? Damn. It's one of the best looking games ever made. Whether it's the sun setting over the mountains or the snow drifting over a quiet town, every scene feels like it could be a postcard. The sound design is just as impressive. The soundtrack is subtle but perfect, and the way the world sounds, animals, gunshots, footsteps in the mud, everything is so rich and real.
What matters?
Do as you're goddamn told.
It is us or him.
Shadow of the Colossus. Man, this game is something else. So picture this, you're in this huge, beautiful world, just you and your horse, and what are you doing? Oh, just taking down massive, towering colossi, like bigger than buildings, with nothing but your wits and a sword. No armies, no sidekicks, just you, alone. It's kind of like you're playing a game where you're the underdog, but not just any underdog, an underdog who's fighting giants. It's not all hack and slash though, no, you've got to climb these giants, figure out their weak spots, and take them down in the most epic way possible. It feels more like a puzzle, but one that gets your heart racing, because each Colossus is a fight for survival. You can't just button mash your way through. It's all about strategy and patience. The game's world is seriously something to marvel at too. You're exploring these vast, empty landscapes, and there's this haunting, lonely feeling. It's just you, the open sky, and these monstrous creatures. And the music? Yeah, it's pretty much a masterpiece that will stay in your head for days. But here's the thing. When you finally defeat one of those colossi, you feel like a freaking champion. It's not some easy kill, it's earned. You're going up against something that seems impossible, and when you take it down, feels like you just accomplished something legendary. So yeah, Shadow of the Colossus isn't just a game, it's an experience. If you haven't played it, well, what are you doing? Go play it, get lost in that world, feel like the badass that you are. Spider-Man 2018. The one that made everyone feel like a total boss swinging through New York City. I mean, if you ever dreamed of being Spider-Man as a kid, or, you know, even as an adult, this is pretty much the closest you'll ever get. The game nails that feeling of being Spidey down to a T. First off, swinging through the city is just fun. Like, seriously, it's so smooth and satisfying. You'll find yourself just swinging around, doing flips, and zipping through skyscrapers like it's no big deal. It's not just some gimmick, it's actually the best part of the game. You'll be catching yourself thinking, dang, this is so awesome every time you swing. You almost forget about the rest of the game because you could do this for hours. Now the story, it's solid. You've got Peter Parker dealing with the classic Spider-Man life balance, fighting villains, saving the city, and still trying to keep his personal life together. You got some heavy hitters like Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin, and Mr. Negative, and they really flesh out the character of Peter Parker too, which makes you care about him even more. It's not just about the action. It's about the guy behind the mask and the struggle to keep his life together while saving the world. The combat is, oh man, it's smooth. You're dodging attacks, throwing punches, kicking enemies into walls, and webbing them up like a pro. You feel like you're in a fight scene from a Spider-Man movie, and it never gets old. You're not just a punching bag for bad guys, you're badass, taking them down in style. The visuals are gorgeous too. New York feels alive. It's a massive playground full of little details, from the crowds on the streets to the gorgeous skyline at sunset. You'll catch yourself stopping mid-swing just to appreciate how freaking good everything looks. And then the upgrades. You get to customize your suits and abilities so you can mix things up and really feel like you're evolving as Spider-Man. Plus, the variety of suits is awesome. You got everything from the classic red and blue to some really unique designs from the comics. It's like Halloween, but every day. So yeah, Spider-Man 2018 is pretty much a dream come true for any Spidey fan. Great story, awesome gameplay, and the feeling of actually being Spider-Man in a living, breathing New York City. If you haven't played it yet, do yourself a favor, swing into this one. You won't regret it.
Shipping containers. Explains how foreign nationals with criminal records are getting into the country.
GTA 4. GTA 4, now we're talking. This game is like the gritty, dramatic cousin of the GTA series, the one who shows up at the family reunion wearing a leather jacket and only speaks in deep philosophical monologues. It's not just about the crazy mayhem and stealing cars, it's about the struggle, the broken dreams, and the harsh realities of life. When Grand Theft Auto 4 dropped back in 2008, it wasn't just another GTA game. It took everything we loved about San Andreas and Vice City, but gave it a dark, sobering twist. The game's protagonist, Nico Bellic, was no longer the confident, over-the-top character we were used to. Nah, this guy's got baggage. He's fresh off a plane from Eastern Europe, chasing the American dream, and looking to track down the cousin who promised him riches and a good life. But instead, he gets tangled up in a world of crime, betrayal, and endless backstabbing. It's gritty, real, and you feel Nico's pain.
Makes it okay to stab your friends in the back?
What really set GTA 4 apart was its atmosphere. The world of Liberty City felt alive, gritty, dirty, but alive. The city was a reflection of Nico's internal struggle. You had these towering skyscrapers and neon signs, but it was all built on a foundation of grime and corruption. The streets felt like they had a pulse, and it wasn't a pretty one. It was cold, harsh, and sometimes downright depressing. But damn, was it believable. You could just walk around and feel the tension in the air. The driving, the shooting, the action, all that was great, of course, but what really made GTA 4 hit so hard was its storytelling. It was a game about choices, about consequences, and about trying to find redemption in a world that doesn't give a damn. Nico wasn't your typical, I'm gonna take over this city type of protagonist. He wasn't trying to be a kingpin, he was just a guy who wanted a better life. But, as we know, the path to hell is paved with good intentions. Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima is one of those games that just pulls you in and keeps you there. It's not even just the combat or the story, it's the whole vibe. You're out there riding across this massive island with the wind guiding you instead of a map marker, and it just feels peaceful. But then, 5 minutes later, you're slicing through a group of bandits with your katana, and it's all intense and gritty. That balance makes it hit different. The story is solid. It's about Jin, a samurai trying to fight back after the Mongol invasion, but it's not just about the war. It's also about how he he changes. He starts questioning tradition and doing what he has to do to protect his people, even if it means going against the samurai code. The way it's told feels grounded, and the voice acting, especially in Japanese, is really well done. Combat is clean, you can go full stealth or walk up and challenge enemies face to face like a true samurai. Both styles work, parrying and dodging feels smooth, and when you get the timing right, it just feels good. The standoffs are badass too. You wait, time it right, and take down a dude in one clean strike. This version, the director's cut, also includes the Iki Island DLC, and it's not just some throwaway extra. The new island has its own vibe, more emotional stuff for Jin's backstory, and some tough fights. It adds a nice chunk of content if you already played the base game. Visually, it's crazy how pretty this game is. Like just riding through a forest with all the leaves falling or seeing the sunset over a field of flowers, you catch yourself stopping just to take it in. It's probably one of the best looking games on PS5, and the 60 FPS boost makes it feel even better. The prototype. Now this is what happens when a hack and slash game decides it doesn't need swords, just pure carnage. Prototype is one of those games that just feels violent in the best way possible. You're not some noble warrior or demon hunter, you're Alex Mercer, a walking biological weapon who can slice, smash, and tear through anything in your path. This game doesn't care about looking flashy or stylish, it's all about raw destructive power, and damn does it deliver. The story is actually pretty interesting. Alex wakes up in a morgue with no memory of how he got there, but suddenly he's got insane shape-shifting powers and a whole city full of people who either want to kill him or get the hell away from him. Manhattan is being overrun by a mysterious virus, and Alex is right in the middle of it, trying to figure out what happened to him while also getting way too comfortable turning people into chunks of meat. The way the game lets you absorb people's memories by literally consuming them is such a cool way to drip feed the story. But let's be real, the main reason you play Prototype is for the combat. You don't just fight people, you obliterate them. Alex can shapeshift his body into a bunch of different weapons. Massive claws that rip enemies apart, a giant blade arm that can cut tanks in half, brutal hammer fists that send shockwaves through the streets, and a whip-like tendril that lets you snatch helicopters out of the sky. Every attack feels like it has real weight to it, and the way enemies get ragdolled across the city just never gets old. And the movement is absolutely ridiculous in a so fun way. You're not just running down the street, you're sprinting up the sides of skyscrapers, leaping over entire city blocks, gliding through the air, and slamming down onto enemies from insane heights. It makes every mission fun, because even when you're just going from point A to point B, you're launching yourself across the city like some unstoppable force of destruction. The enemy variety is solid too. You've got military forces constantly trying to take you down with tanks and helicopters, plus these grotesque infected monsters that turn New York into a war zone. The game keeps things hectic, and since you can steal vehicles, hijack weapons, and absorb enemies to disguise yourself, there are so many ways to approach combat. Visually, yeah, it's a bit rough around the edges, but the sheer chaos on screen makes up for it. The city gets wrecked as the infection spreads, and by the end, Manhattan looks like a battlefield straight out of a horror movie. And while the game doesn't have a deep emotional story, Alex Mercer himself is just cool. He's not some heroic figure, he's an anti-hero with no problems slaughtering everything in his way, and that ruthless attitude makes him stand out from other action game protagonists. You know, if there's one complaint, it's that the side missions can get repetitive. A lot of them boil down to go here, kill everything, but honestly, that's Prototype in a nutshell. It's not about complex mechanics or deep storytelling, it's about being an absolute monster, wrecking an entire city, and feeling unstoppable while doing it. If you want a hack and slash game that ditches swords and elegance for pure destruction, Prototype is exactly what you're looking for. The Long Dark. The Long Dark is one of those games that quietly sneaks up on you, and before you know it, you're completely obsessed. You'll start off just trying to survive for a day or two, and suddenly it's been 15 hours and you're carefully rationing your last can of beans while hiding from a pack of wolves. It's slow, methodical, and brutally realistic, but somehow impossible to put down. The game drops you into the frozen wilderness of Canada after a mysterious geomagnetic event shuts down all technology. No cars, no phones, no help, just you, the freezing cold, and nature trying to kill you. You're not some super soldier or action hero, you're just an ordinary person, which makes every small victory feel massive. Finding a single can of soup or a worn out pair of gloves feels like winning the lottery because everything in this game is out to get you, the weather, the wildlife, and even your own poor planning. The atmosphere is absolutely haunting, the world is quiet, eerie, and lonely, no music, just the howling wind, the crunch of snow under your boots, and the distant howl of wolves that immediately makes you clutch your rifle a little tighter. The visuals are simple but beautiful, the stylized painterly art style makes the world look like a frozen painting with vibrant sunsets, frozen lakes, and snow-covered forests. But don't let the beauty fool you, this game is downright merciless. The survival mechanics are the real star of the show. You'll need to constantly manage your temperature, hunger, thirst, and fatigue, and every decision feels like it matters. Do you risk crossing a frozen lake to reach a cabin, or do you play it safe and stick to the forest, even though it'll take twice as long? Do you eat your last candy bar now, or save it for when you're truly starving? The game never holds your hand, it just throws you into the wilderness and watches you struggle. And the wildlife? Oh man, it's not here for decoration, it's here to end you. Wolves will stalk you relentlessly, and if you get too close, they'll rush you without hesitation. If you survive the fight, you'll probably still bleed out unless you patch yourself up fast. And then there are the bears, which are just terrifying. The moment you spot one in the distance, you'll start planning your escape route because you definitely don't want to run into one without a rifle. But it's not just about fighting to survive, it's about adapting and thriving. You'll learn to hunt deer, set traps for rabbits, and carefully craft clothing from animal pelts to stay warm. You'll scavenge abandoned cabins, carefully search cars, and loot whatever supplies you can find. And the longer you survive, the more self-sufficient you become. You'll start building makeshift shelters, repairing clothes, and cooking meals over a fire. It's slow, deliberate survival, and that's what makes it so addictive. The game also features a story mode called Wintermute, which adds more structure and character-driven narrative. You play as Will Mackenzie, a bush pilot who crash lands in the wilderness after the mysterious event. As you search for your missing passenger, you'll explore the frozen landscape, meet other survivors, and uncover the secrets of what caused the event. The story is emotional and atmospheric, but the real star of the game is still the survival experience itself. Subnautica.
Scans indicate this location.
Okay, so this game is something else. Imagine crashing your spaceship on a planet that's completely covered in water. No land, just ocean as far as the eye can see. That's Subnautica. You're stuck in this little escaped pod, basically a floating tin can, and your first priority is just staying alive. You've got to figure out where to find drinkable water, what's edible and what's going to poison you instantly, and how to not suffocate while exploring underwater. A pretty frantic start, but once you get past the initial survival panic, the real fun begins exploring. This ocean is massive and it's absolutely stunning. You've got these vibrant coral reefs teeming with alien fish, kelp forests that are way bigger than any kelp forest on Earth, and these deep, dark trenches where you have no idea what's lurking. Seriously, the first time you encounter a Reaper Leviathan, terrifying, absolutely terrifying. It's a beautiful world, but it's also full of these creatures that are both fascinating and incredibly dangerous. You're not just swimming around aimlessly though, you're constantly crafting stuff. You start with basic tools, but as you explore and find blueprints, you can build all sorts of amazing things. Better diving gear so you can go deeper, scanners to learn about the local flora and fauna, and eventually you can even build submarines, like actual submarines that you can pilot around the ocean. It's so cool. You're constantly gathering resources, figuring out new recipes, and trying to improve your chances of survival. There's a story woven into all of this too. It's not a typical story with cutscenes and dialogue, it's more subtle. You find clues scattered around the ocean, learn about what happened to the planet and the people who were here before you, and gradually piece together the mystery. It's a really clever way to tell a story, and it makes exploring even more rewarding. Honestly, Subnautica is just incredibly immersive. You really feel like you're exploring this alien world. It's beautiful, it's scary, it's addictive, and it's full of surprises. It's one of those games that you can easily lose hours in, just swimming around, discovering new things, and trying not to get eaten. If you like open world games, survival games, or just games that make you feel like you're on a real adventure, you absolutely have to play Subnautica. It's an experience you won't forget. The Gothic Series. Let's talk about Gothic, the game that greets new players by punching them in the face and stealing their lunch money. You start as some nameless dude thrown into a brutal prison colony full of bandits, monsters, and angry NPCs who don't even pretend to like you. You try to talk to someone, they insult you. You try to fight, you get wrecked. You try to pick up a weapon, good luck even swinging it properly. The controls feel like they were designed by someone who actively despises human beings, and the combat, it makes Kingdom Come Deliverance look like Devil May Cry. At first, everything about Gothic screams you are not welcome here. The world is harsh, the enemies are relentless, and the game basically expects you to suffer for a few hours before you start having fun. It's like an old school RPG boot camp. But here's the twist. Once you survive that brutal learning curve, this game becomes one of the most immersive RPGs ever.
What fate?
The world isn't just some open sandbox full of quest markers and pointless NPCs. Every character has a life, a job, and an actual reason to exist. If you pick a fight, people remember it. If you steal something, the guards don't magically forget in 5 minutes. They'll chase you down and beat the crap out of you. The world feels alive, and unlike most RPGs where you start as the chosen hero, in Gothic you start as a nobody, and you have to earn your place. And that combat, yeah, it sucks at first, but once you learn it, once you figure out the rhythm of fights and actually train your character, suddenly you go from being a punching bag to a one-man army. You start feeling like you actually deserve every bit of power you get. So, if you're tired of modern RPGs spoon-feeding you everything and want a game that treats you like a lost child in the woods, give Gothic a shot. Just be ready to suffer first.
He is destined to be a hero.
LA Noire. This is the most underrated game from Rockstar. LA Noire is a detective game set in Los Angeles in the 1940s. You play as Cole Phelps, a cop who wants to solve crimes and clean up the city. But things aren't that simple. LA is full of corruption, secrets, and lies. And the more you investigate, the more you realize that even the police can't be trusted. Also, one of the first things I'd love to mention is the atmosphere. Man, this game really makes you feel like you're in the 1940s. Even graphically, the lighting and everything fit that colorful yet old school vibe of Los Angeles. One of my favorite aspects of this game. But anyway, this isn't an action game where you run around shooting people all the time. Instead, it's about finding clues, asking questions, and figuring out the truth. After a crime happens, you visit the scene, look for evidence, and talk to witnesses and suspects. But here's the cool part, people lie. You have to watch their faces closely to see if they're telling the truth or hiding something. Their eyes might shift, they might fidget, or they might look too confident. If you catch a lie, you can press them for the truth, or even accuse them. The game takes you through different police departments, from small street crimes to big murder cases. As you solve more cases, you get promoted, but you also get dragged into a bigger mystery about the dark side of LA. The city looks amazing, with classic cars, old-style buildings, and a film noir vibe that makes everything feel like an old detective movie. There is some action too. Sometimes suspects run and you have to chase them on foot or in a car. Other times things get dangerous and you have to shoot criminals in intense gunfights. But the real challenge is solving cases. If you mess up, you might accuse the wrong person or let the real criminal go free. The story is serious and deep. Cole Phelps isn't a perfect hero. He has his own secrets, and as the game goes on, you start to see his flaws. The people around him also have their own agendas, and by the end, you realize that being a cop in LA isn't just about doing the right thing, it's about surviving in a world full of lies. If you love detective stories, crime mysteries, and making tough choices, LA Noire is a game you should try. It's slow, smart, and makes you think like a real detective.
Get away! You're losing!
Elden Ring. This game is huge. Elden Ring isn't just another open world game, it's something special. It takes everything that made Dark Souls great and amplifies it, dropping you into a massive world that feels like it goes on forever. Every mountain, every ruin, every dark cave, it's all waiting to be explored, and the best part? The game doesn't tell you what to do, you figure it out. From the moment you step into the lands between, you feel small. The world is ancient, broken, full of lost kingdoms and powerful enemies. You see a giant glowing tree in the sky, a castle in the distance, and a knight on horseback ready to destroy you in 2 seconds. This game doesn't hold your hand, it throws you into danger and lets you learn by surviving. And the combat, brutal and amazing. Every fight is intense, you don't just button mash, you time your attacks, dodge at the perfect moment, and land a hit that actually matters. Every boss is a test of patience and skill, and when you finally win after dozens of tries, the feeling is unreal. But the best part? Freedom. There's no one telling you to go here or do this quest. You choose where to go, who to fight, and how to play. Want to ride off into the wild and fight dragons? Do it! Want to sneak through a dangerous castle and steal loot? Go ahead. Want to spend hours farming runes and leveling up? Totally fine. The game lets you play your way. And the world? Breathtaking. One moment you're exploring a golden field with sunlight breaking through the trees, the next you're deep underground in a lost city with glowing stars above you. Every area feels different and every place hides secrets. You never know what's coming next, and that's what makes it so addicting. This game deserves every bit of hype it got. It's not just an open world game, it's one of the greatest adventures ever made. The Pathless. Picture this, you're in a massive open world, full of mystical forests, giant ruins, and mountains that seem to go on forever. But there's no map, no markers, no long list of boring objectives. It's just you, your bow, and your eagle, and you gotta trust your instincts to find your way. You play as the hunter, a skilled archer sent to a land that's been cursed by a dark force. The world is dying, and giant, raging spirits are spreading the curse everywhere. Your job? Break the curse and restore the light. But this isn't just about fighting, it's about moving, exploring, and feeling free. The coolest part? You never stop moving. There's no slow walking, no clunky climbing. You shoot special talismans in the air to gain speed, and every shot makes you glide across the world faster. You're running, jumping, flipping, and before you know it, you're flying through the landscape with your eagle by your side. It's smooth, fast, and feels amazing. And that eagle? It's your best friend. It helps you soar through the air, solve puzzles, and reach places you couldn't on your own. You have to take care of it, clean off the corruption when it gets hurt, and trust it completely. This game isn't just about action, it's about connection. The world is full of mysteries. Ancient ruins hide puzzles, hidden paths lead to secrets, and giant cursed beasts roam the land. When you're ready, you take them on. Huge boss battles where you chase them, dodge their attacks, and use your archery skills to bring them down. But there's no aiming down sights. It's all about timing and instinct, which makes every shot feel incredibly satisfying. But Pathless isn't about waypoints, leveling up, or grinding for gear. It's about feeling the wind in your face, trusting your eagle, and following the path, even when there's no road to guide you. If you love games that let you explore without limits, this one is something special. Middle-earth: Shadow of War. You are Talion, a warrior with a powerful elf spirit inside him. Your goal is simple: build an army and take down Sauron. But this is not just a normal fight. You are not just a soldier, you are a leader of war. The world is huge. There are mountains, dark fortresses, burning lands, and everywhere you go, there are orcs, battles, and danger. Some orcs fear you, some want revenge, and some just won't die no matter how many times you defeat them. Fighting is fast and brutal. You swing your sword, shoot arrows, and jump across battlefields like a true warrior. You can freeze time, teleport, summon beasts, and even bend the minds of your enemies. You don't just fight, you control the battlefield. And the best part? The orcs are not just enemies, they have stories. Every orc you face remembers you. If one defeats you, they get stronger, meaner, and hungrier for more blood. If you burn one, they come back scarred and furious. Some will beg to serve you, some will betray you when you least expect it, and some will become your most loyal warriors. You are not just fighting, you are building an army. You take over strongholds, send spies into enemy camps, and lead massive sieges where hundreds of soldiers fight at once. Every battle is different because the orcs have their own plans, their own grudges, and their own ways of fighting back. The world feels alive, the battles feel real, and every choice changes what happens next. No two players will have the same experience. Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2. If you love realistic, open-world RPGs, Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2 is one of the best games you can play right now. Set in 15th century Bohemia, the game continues the story of Henry, a blacksmith's son who has now stepped into the life of a knight. This isn't just another fantasy RPG with magic and dragons. This is a game where everything is grounded in history. No magic spells, no mythical creatures, just pure, brutal medieval realism. The world is huge and detailed, featuring villages, forests, castles, and even the bustling city of Kutna Noire, every corner of the map feels alive, with people going about their daily lives, reacting to your choices and shaping the story as you play. The game offers over 100 hours of gameplay, packed with deep quests and multiple ways to solve problems, making every decision feel important. Combat is challenging and strategic. You can't just swing your sword wildly and hope to win. You need skill, timing, and patience. Swords clash, armor slows you down, and one wrong move can end a fight in seconds. You also need to eat, sleep, and maintain your weapons, adding a layer of survival mechanics that make the world feel even more immersive. The story and character development are one of the game's biggest strengths. Every character feels real, and the choices you make affect how people see you. Want to be a noble warrior? Help people and fight with honor. Want to be a rogue? Sneak, steal, and manipulate your way to the top. The game reacts to how you play, making your journey unique every time. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a game that rewards patience, strategy, and exploration. If you love deep RPGs with strong storytelling and historical accuracy, this is a must-play. The Saboteur. Alright, imagine this. You're in Paris during World War II, but everything looks sad and lifeless. The whole city is black and white, and the only color you see is the bright red of Nazi banners everywhere. But don't worry, you're not just some random guy. You're Sean Devlin, an Irish dude who's angry, fast, and ready to fight back. Sean is a race car driver, but after some bad stuff goes down, he decides to stop racing and start blowing things up. His goal? Kick the Nazis out of Paris one explosion at a time. And here's the cool part. When you destroy Nazi bases, rescue people, or take back the city, the black and white world turns colorful again. It's like you're literally bringing hope back just by doing your thing. You're not just running in with guns blazing though, you're a saboteur, which means you gotta be sneaky. You can wear disguises, climb buildings like a parkour pro, and set off explosives when nobody's looking. But if they catch you, run like hell, steal a car, or climb up a rooftop and disappear. And speaking of cars, the driving is awesome. Sean knows how to handle a vehicle, so you can speed through the streets, escape shootouts, or just race around for fun. And when things get bad, jump out, pull out your gun, and start blasting. The whole game makes you feel like you're in an old school spy movie. The music, the sneaky missions, the huge explosions, it all feels super cool. And the story? At first Sean just wants revenge, but as he fights he starts caring about the people and the city, and that makes everything feel important. The Saboteur is an underrated gem. It's got stealth, action, racing, climbing, explosions, and a world that literally changes based on what you do. It's fun, unique, and still worth playing today. Batman Arkham City. Man, Arkham City is something special. If you've ever wanted to feel like Batman, this game nails it. It takes everything that made Arkham Asylum great and cranks it up to 11. A bigger world, crazier villains, and some of the best combat in any game. So, the setup? Gotham has done the dumbest thing possible. They took part of the city, walled it off, and threw all the criminals inside, turning it into a lawless prison. And surprise, surprise, everything goes horribly wrong. You get thrown in there as Bruce Wayne, and within minutes you're suited up as Batman, trying to stop Hugo Strange, Joker, Two-Face, Penguin, and a bunch of other Gotham lunatics who are all up to no good. The open world is just chef's kiss. You're not just running around, you're gliding, grappling, diving off buildings, and it all feels smooth as hell. You can drop into street fights, save civilians, or just lurk on rooftops watching criminals panic. And the combat? Perfection. This is the game that set the standard for action combat in modern games. Punch, counter, dodge, combo, use gadgets mid-fight. It's all so fluid. When you get into a rhythm, you feel unstoppable. Like you're really taking down thugs with skill instead of just button mashing. Then there's the stealth. If combat makes you feel powerful, sneaking makes you feel like a ghost. You drop from rafters, take out enemies one by one, jam their weapons, or just straight up terrify them. There's nothing more satisfying than watching the last guy panic because all his friends vanished into the shadows. The villains steal the show. Joker is at his absolute best here, Penguin is brutal, and Mr. Freeze, one of the best boss fights ever. Every villain has their own story, their own presence, and the way they're woven into the world makes everything feel alive. And the story? Top tier Batman. It keeps you hooked from start to finish, with twists, betrayals, and some emotional moments that hit hard. Honestly, Arkham City is one of the best superhero games ever made. If you like Batman, open world action, or just great games in general, this is a must play. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Now this is how you do a pirate game. Black Flag isn't just about sneaking around and stabbing people. It's about freedom, adventure, and sailing across the open sea like a true pirate. You play as Edward Kenway, a pirate who accidentally gets caught up in the whole Assassin Templar mess, but here's the thing, he doesn't care about their war. He just wants gold, glory, and a life of freedom, and honestly, that makes him one of the most fun and interesting protagonists in the series. The best part of the game? The open sea. You're not stuck in one city, you have a massive world to explore, filled with islands, hidden coves, naval forts, and enemy ships to raid. You hop on your ship, the Jackdaw, and just sail wherever you want. And the naval combat? Incredible! You fire cannons, ram enemy ships, board them with your crew, and steal their loot. Every battle feels epic, especially when a storm rolls in and the waves start rocking your ship like crazy. But it's not just about the ships. The land gameplay is classic Assassin's Creed. Sneaking, climbing, taking out targets from the shadows. There are huge cities like Havana and Kingston, hidden Mayan temples, and even underwater shipwrecks you can explore. The world feels alive. Your crew sings sea shanties as you sail, merchants trade in the markets, and rival pirates fight for control of the seas. It's not just an Assassin's Creed game, it's a full pirate experience. The story is great, but it's the journey that makes this game special. The feeling of charting your own course, hunting down treasure, and living the life of a pirate is just unmatched. If you love pirates, open world exploration, or just great action games, Black Flag is one of the best Assassin's Creed games ever made. Watch Dogs 2. Watch Dogs 2 is just pure fun. It takes everything the first game tried to do and makes it way better, brighter, faster, and just way more enjoyable to play. You step into the shoes of Marcus Holloway, a young hacker who's got style, skills, and a whole lot of attitude. He joins DedSec, a group of hackers trying to take down corrupt corporations who are spying on everyone. But unlike the first game, which was all dark and serious, Watch Dogs 2 is loud, colorful, and full of energy. And the hacking, it's next level. You're not just messing with traffic lights anymore, you can hack cars to drive themselves, mess with people's phones, shut down security systems, and even send cops after enemies. You don't even need to go inside buildings. You can just hack cameras, use drones, and take down entire enemy bases without stepping a foot inside. The missions are creative and fun. One minute you're sneaking into a Silicon Valley tech company, the next you're hacking into a billionaire's mansion, or pulling off a crazy heist with your hacker crew. It's like being in a high-tech action movie, except you control how things go down. Combat is totally up to you. You can go full stealth, using tasers and hacking, or just go loud with guns and gadgets. But honestly, being sneaky and using hacking tricks is way more fun. And the DedSec crew, they're awesome. Unlike the first game's serious tone, this one feels more like a fun group of rebels just trying to change the world while having a blast. Wrench, Sitara, and Josh all have their own unique personalities, and their banter makes everything feel more real. If you like open world games with fun missions, crazy hacking abilities, and a world that reacts to you, Watch Dogs 2 is definitely worth playing. Just Cause 3. If you just want to blow stuff up for hours without overthinking, this is your game. You play as Rico Rodriguez, a guy with zero regard for the laws of physics and an endless supply of explosives. Your goal? Take down a dictator named Di Ravello, who's turned the fictional island of Medici into his personal playground. But let's be real, you're not here for the story, you're here to blow up military bases, ride jets into gas stations, and grapple onto helicopters mid-flight. The grappling hook is what makes this game so damn fun. You can hook onto anything, cars, helicopters, fuel tanks, and launch yourself through the air like a freaking superhero, but the real magic is the tether. You can attach two objects together and watch the chaos unfold. Want to tie a jeep to a statue and watch it yank the whole thing down? Go for it! Or maybe hook a gas tank to a helicopter, shoot the tank, and watch it launch into the sky like a rocket. The physics are absolutely ridiculous, and that's why it rules. And then you've got the wingsuit, which is honestly one of the best traversal mechanics ever. You'll be soaring across mountains, diving over beaches, and skimming the tops of trees. When you combine the wingsuit with the grapple, you're basically Spider-Man with explosives. It's so fluid and fun that you'll end up ignoring vehicles half the time just because grappling and gliding is way faster. But don't worry, the vehicles still slap. You've got sports cars, tanks, boats, and fighter jets all just lying around. And since there are no rules, you can just grab a jet, crash it into a base, and wingsuit away like nothing happened. The game rewards you for being reckless, and it never gets old. And the world itself is stunning. Medici is massive with beautiful beaches, mountain ranges, and Mediterranean towns. You'll be flying over turquoise waters one minute, then paragliding through rocky canyons the next. The visuals still hold up and the explosions make it even prettier, but what makes Just Cause 3 so damn addictive is how it lets you mess around. The game doesn't care if you ignore the story for 10 hours just to launch cows into the ocean with your grappling hook. You can blow up bridges just because it looks cool, or tether enemy soldiers to helicopters and watch them fly away screaming. It's pure dumb fun, and that's exactly why it rocks. Sleeping Dogs. Sleeping Dogs is one of those games that just hits different. Like, yeah, on the surface, it looks like just another open world crime game. Cops, gangsters, cars, yada yada. But when you actually play it, dude, it's so much more than that. You're not just some random thug. You're an undercover cop named Wei Shin, and you're deep in the Hong Kong triad scene. And the way this game blends martial arts combat with driving and shooting, so damn slick. One minute you're doing crazy kung fu combos, tossing dudes into fans, or slamming them into phone booths, and the next minute you're hijacking cars while driving, jumping from one moving vehicle to another like a total badass wild. But yo, let's talk gameplay, because this game goes off. The hand-to-hand combat is sick. It's like this fast, brutal martial arts system where you're punching, kicking, flipping guys, countering moves like you're in a Jackie Chan movie. It feels super responsive and smooth, not clunky like some other games. You can grab enemies and smash them into walls, toss them in dumpsters, even slam their heads into car doors. It's wild. Then you've got gunplay, which isn't the main thing, but when it happens, it's solid. There's cool slow-mo shootouts where you dive over stuff like you're in an action flick. But honestly, the real star is the driving. The car chases are fast and fun, and there's this mechanic where you can literally jump from one car to another while speeding down the road. It never gets old, bro. You feel like a straight-up badass. And the city? Man, Hong Kong looks amazing in this game. All neon lights, tight alleyways, street food stalls, and just a ton of style. It feels alive. You're cruising through rainy streets, fighting dudes in back alleys, doing missions for the gang. It's gritty, but also kind of beautiful in a way. If you like GTA but want something with more fighting, more heart, and just a different vibe altogether, Sleeping Dogs is it. It's got action, story, characters, and that badass movie energy. Honestly, this game deserved way more love. Straight fire from start to finish. Mad Max. Mad Max is one of the most slept-on open-world games out there. Seriously, if you love games with gritty worlds, brutal combat, and badass vehicles, you're missing out if you haven't played this one. It's set in the Mad Max universe, which basically means desert wastelands, violent warlords, and total chaos. You play as Max, just a broken dude trying to survive in a world gone to hell. The story is simple but effective. Max gets ambushed by Scrotus, a warlord with a face only a mother could punch, and has to rebuild his car, the magnum opus, to take him down. But it's not just about revenge. The whole game is about surviving the wasteland, which is honestly half the fun. Now, the car combat is where this game really shines. You're tearing across the desert, ramming into enemy vehicles, and blowing them up with harpoons and flamethrowers. And bro, it never gets old. You can hook enemy cars with a harpoon and yank the driver out, or rip their tires off and watch them spin out of control. You'll plow through convoys, take out massive war rigs, and leave flaming wreckage in your wake. It's pure chaos in the best way possible. But when you're not wrecking cars, you're wrecking faces. The melee combat is brutal. It's basically Batman Arkham combat, but dirtier. You're punching, countering, and body slamming dudes into the sand. The hits feel weighty and savage, and when Max goes into fury mode, he just straight up demolishes fools. It's bare knuckle brawling at its finest, and it makes every fight feel visceral and raw. The wasteland itself is surprisingly gorgeous, despite being a massive desert. You've got rusted out settlements, twisted metal fortresses, and massive sandstorms storms that roll in and turn everything into chaos. The storms are honestly insane. They'll blind you with sand, hurl chunks of debris at your car, and make you feel like you're about to get torn apart. And when the sun sets, the game goes from dusty orange to deep eerie blue, making the whole world feel strangely beautiful. There's also a ton of stuff to do. You'll be clearing out enemy camps, taking down sniper towers, and scavenging for scrap to upgrade your car and gear. And the upgrades actually feel worth it. You'll add armor, spikes, and ramming bars to your ride, making it look like something out of a heavy metal album cover. Max himself can also be upgraded. You'll boost his health, fighting skills, and abilities, which makes the later game fights even more fun. What makes Mad Max so freaking addictive is how well it nails the vibe. You're constantly on the edge of survival with limited fuel, ammo, and supplies, which makes every encounter feel tense. You're fighting over scraps, raiding convoys, and watching the desert swallow everything whole. It's grim, dirty, and savage, and that's what makes it so damn fun. Far Cry 4. Alright, so Far Cry 4 is one of those games that absolutely nails the open world experience. The world is huge, beautiful, and packed with things to do, but at the same time, the story kind of falls short. Let's break it down. So, the game throws you into Kira, a fictional Himalayan country torn apart by a civil war. You play as Ajay Ghale, a guy who just wanted to spread his mom's ashes, but somehow gets caught in a brutal conflict between a rebel group, the Golden Path, and the game's villain, Pegamin. Now, let's talk about that world. Kira is stunning. Snowy mountains, dense jungles, villages, rivers. It all looks amazing, and every part of the map feels alive. Animals roam around, enemies patrol the roads, random events happen all the time. You never really know what's gonna happen when you're out exploring, which keeps things exciting. And the gameplay? Super fun. You can go in guns blazing, or you can sneak in with a bow, set traps, and take out enemies one by one. The game gives you tons of options. Use explosives, ride elephants into battle, or even fly around in a tiny helicopter. It's classic Far Cry chaos, and it never gets old. But then, there's the story, and yeah, it's not great. Pegamin is an awesome villain, and he steals the show every time he's on screen, but the problem? He barely shows up. Most of the story missions are just standard Far Cry stuff. Go here, blow this up, take over that base. The rebels you're helping? Honestly, kinda forgettable. You make choices between two leaders in the Golden Path, but neither of them really feel like good options, so the choices don't feel as important as they should. Also, the game plays it too safe. It's basically Far Cry 3 with a new setting. If you've played that, this game feels very familiar. The open world is better, but the overall structure, pretty much the same. That being said, if you love exploring, causing chaos, and taking down enemy outposts in fun, creative ways, Far Cry 4 delivers. The world and gameplay carry the whole experience, even if the story doesn't really hit as hard as it could. If you're here for the story, it might leave you wanting more. But if you just want to mess around in a giant open world, fight bad guys, and blow stuff up in the most ridiculous ways possible, Far Cry 4 is a blast. Lost Judgment. Lost Judgment is one of those sequels that takes everything good about the first game and makes it even better. You're back as Takayuki Yagami, the smooth detective who can throw hands like a pro, and this time you're wrapped up in a much darker case. It dives into heavy stuff, bullying, suicide, corruption, but it handles it in a way that feels grounded and gripping. It's intense, but the story keeps pulling you in with all its twists and emotional punches. The combat, man, it's so satisfying. You've got 3 styles to switch between quick, heavy, and technical, and mixing them up mid-fight is a blast. Whether you're taking on street thugs or big boss battles, every fight feels dynamic. Plus they added parkour. It's not groundbreaking, but it's fun and adds a new layer to chasing down suspects or exploring. But what really makes this game shine is the world. Yokohama feels alive, with so much to do. The side cases are where the game lets Lucio go from solving serious mysteries to getting roped into absolutely ridiculous situations, and somehow it all works. Then there's the school stories. They're a huge highlight, letting you infiltrate a high school and help students with everything from robotics to dance battles. It's goofy, heartfelt, and breaks up the heavier main story perfectly. The game also looks incredible. The cities are packed with detail, the character animations are on point, and the cutscenes are just chef's kiss. And the music, it knows exactly when to hit hard or just let you vibe while exploring. If you liked the Yakuza games, Lost Judgment is an easy pick. It's got a killer story, tight combat, and so much personality. Whether you're punching bad guys or grooving in a dance-off, it's just a great time all around. Saints Row the Third. When we're thinking about gangster games that feel awesome to play and maybe even go beyond what GTA does, Saints Row the Third is absolutely a top pick. This game knows exactly what it wants to be, a ridiculously over-the-top, laugh-out-loud, crazy sandbox of mayhem. It's not about being a tough, gritty criminal trying to survive. It's about being the famous celebrity leader of a gang that everyone knows, and then things just go completely off the rails. You play as the boss of the 3rd Street Saints. By this game, your gang is huge, like they have their own energy drinks and action figures. But then you get pulled into a new city called Steelport, and you have to fight 3 new gangs to take it over. The story is a wild ride, packed with funny characters and situations that just keep getting more absurd. You'll go from regular gang wars to battling a masked wrestler, then a hacker group, and then even a private army. It's all played for laughs, but it's super entertaining. Now, why does playing this game feel so good? It's all about the pure, joyful anarchy. The gunplay is really solid, every weapon feels powerful, and when you shoot bad guys, they react in a big way. But the weapons themselves are where the fun really starts. You've got regular pistols and machine guns, sure, but then you get things like the Penetrator, which is a giant purple, well, you know, or a remote-controlled drone, or even a Shark-O-Matic gun that calls a shark up from the ground to eat your enemies. It's designed to make you laugh and feel completely unstoppable. And the missions, man, they are just nuts. You're not just driving from point A to point B. You might be skydiving out of a plane with a tank, literally falling into a city to blow things up. Or you're driving a car with a tiger in the passenger seat trying to keep it calm. Or you're participating in a deadly game show hosted by a guy with a giant cat head where you have to shoot mascots and avoid fire traps. Every mission feels like a huge, over-the-top movie scene, and you're right in the middle of it, making all the crazy stuff happen. You also get to customize your character in wild ways. You can make them look like anything you want, give them funny voices, and dress them in the most ridiculous outfits. That freedom to be whoever you want and then go cause absolute chaos is a big part of the fun, and the upgrades you get for your character and your gang make you feel more and more powerful, like you're truly becoming the boss of this insane city. Cyberpunk 2077. Night City is just crazy detailed and alive. It's not just a big empty city with some cars driving around, no. This place feels like a living, breathing mess of neon lights, people yelling, crazy billboards, and all kinds of weird stuff happening everywhere. You can walk into bars, clubs, shady back alleys, or corporate towers, and each spot feels different. It's one of those open worlds that sucks you in because it's so full of life and stories popping off. And then the gameplay is a big reason why people keep coming back. You're not stuck with one way to play. Want to go guns blazing and blow everything up? Cool, the shooting feels tight and punchy. Want to be sneaky and hack your way past enemies? That works too. And it's satisfying to mess with security cams or turn enemies against each other. Or maybe you want to mix it up with cybernetic powers like slow motion dodges or electric attacks. There's a ton of customization, so your character really feels like your own. The RPG part is solid as hell. You can upgrade your skills however you want, which means you're not forced into some cookie-cutter build. Want to be a hacker freak with all the tech stuff? Go for it. Or pump up your strength and go full melee beast. It's your choice. That kind of freedom makes the gameplay way more interesting because you get to experiment and find your own style. And man, the story hits different. It's not just some boring shoot 'em up. It's got real weight with characters that feel human, even in this crazy futuristic world. V's journey is full of tough decisions, and you see how your choices mess with the world and people around you. Plus, Johnny Silverhand is such a cool character that he steals the show with his attitude and backstory. The writing and dialogue are sharp, and there's a lot of emotional moments buried in there if you pay attention. Also, the side missions aren't just filler garbage. They actually add a lot to the world and story. You'll meet all kinds of interesting people with their own problems, and it never feels like you're just grinding for XP. There's always something cool or weird to find around the city. Finally, the atmosphere and music are straight up fire. The neon glow, the rainy streets, the techno beats, it all comes together to give you that cyberpunk vibe perfectly. You don't just play Cyberpunk 2077, you kinda live in it while you're playing.
No fun. Max tech. Time to tilt out.
Days Gone.
We don't have hope for a better life.
Alright, at this point, Days Gone has, well, it's aged like a friggin' beast. It's a post-apocalyptic, open-world game where you're just a guy, his bike, and a whole lot of zombies. But what makes it stand out is how personal and grounded it feels. It's not about saving the world, it's about surviving it. You play as Deacon St. John, a gruff, no-nonsense biker who's barely holding it together. The world's gone to hell, and he's still clinging to the hope that his wife, Sarah, might still be alive. But don't expect some cheesy, over-the-top action hero. Deacon's just a broken dude trying to keep going, and that gives the whole game this raw, human feel that a lot of post-apocalyptic stories miss. The open world is straight up gorgeous. You're out in the Oregon wilderness with forests, mountain roads, foggy marshes, and abandoned towns falling apart. But it's not just for show, the weather actually matters. Rain messes with your visibility, mud slows you down, and freakers are more aggressive at night, making every ride feel unpredictable. And the bike, yeah, it's not just for looks, it's your lifeline. You'll need it to get around, but you also gotta take care of it. Run out of fuel? Good luck hoofing it across the wilderness with freakers closing in. The bike feels like an extension of Deacon, which makes it way more meaningful than your average open world vehicle. Upgrading it with better speed, handling, and nitro boosts makes it feel like your own personal escape pod. But the real stars of Days Gone? The hordes. Good god, these things are freaking terrifying. You'll wander into a sawmill or a gas station, thinking you're clearing out a few freakers, and suddenly BAM! You're being chased by hundreds of them. And they don't just stumble around, they sprint, climb, and swarm you like a damn tidal wave. It's pure chaos. You'll set traps, chuck molotovs, and pray you've got enough ammo to make it out. The combat itself is satisfying as hell. You'll use everything you've got, guns, melee weapons, crossbows, and explosives, but ammo is constantly running low, so you gotta be smart. There's also stealth, which actually works well here. Sneaking through enemy camps, silently taking out raiders, or using freakers to wipe out rival factions never gets old. And even with all the action, Days Gone still hits you in the feels. The relationship between Deacon and Boozer is surprisingly genuine, two broken guys leaning on each other. Boozer's struggle with his injuries and Deacon's constant guilt make their friendship feel real, not just another side character subplot stuff. Days Gone is one of those games that sneaks up on you. You go in expecting another zombie game, but what you get is a grounded, emotional story about loss, hope, and survival. And the more time you spend with it, the more it hooks you. It's gritty, messy, and doesn't pull any punches, making it one of the most underrated open world experiences out there. If you missed it at launch, you owe it to yourself to play it now.
What does it matter if everyone else is dead?
Rage 2. Rage 2 is the definition of a dumb, fun time, and I mean that in the best possible way. It's not trying to blow your mind with deep storytelling or emotional moments. Nah, this game just wants you to go nuts, blow stuff up, and have a damn blast doing it. It's basically Mad Max on bath salts with bright neon colors, insane weapons, and open world chaos that never takes itself too seriously. You play as Walker, a no-nonsense badass living in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. The story? It's there, technically. You're fighting against some evil authority that's trying to control the world, but once again, I know, and let's be real, nobody's here for the plot in these games, you're here for the carnage. The game throws you into a massive open world filled with roving bandits, mutant freaks, and oppressive military goons, and it gives you every tool you need to make them all regret existing. And man, the combat, holy crap. It's fast, brutal, and just pure mayhem. You've got over-the-top guns, but the real fun comes from the abilities. You'll slam into the ground, sending enemies flying like ragdolls. You'll dash around at super speed, crushing skulls before they even see you, and you've got this psychic push move that lets you yeet people off cliffs or into exploding barrels. It's stupidly satisfying. The whole thing feels like Doom mixed with Just Cause, and it never stops being fun. The open world itself is big and colorful, but it's also kinda empty. You'll ride around in Mad Max style vehicles, but there's not a ton of depth to the exploration. It's mostly just cool places to fight in. You'll find bandit camps, mutant nests, and random chaos waiting to happen, but the world's main purpose is to give you more stuff to destroy. And honestly, that's all it needs to be. Oh, and the vehicles? Freaking wild. You'll be driving around in tanks, monster trucks, and hovercrafts all armed to the teeth. The car combat is actually pretty solid with boosts, mounted guns, and over-the-top explosions. It's not super deep, but it's fun as hell to ram bandit vehicles off the road and watch them go up in flames. Visually, Rage 2 is weirdly beautiful. The wasteland isn't just brown and dusty, it's got vibrant pinks, purples, and oranges splashed everywhere, making it feel surreal and trippy. It's like the Mad Max apocalypse got a cyberpunk paint job, and it weirdly works. But if you're looking for a deep open world experience or meaningful progression, Rage 2 probably ain't it. The side content is pretty repetitive and the world doesn't have much personality outside of the combat, but honestly, who cares? You're here to wreck everything in sight, and in that department, Rage 2 absolutely delivers. It's stupid, loud, and messy as hell, but that's what makes it so fun. Sometimes you just want to shut your brain off and go wild, and Rage 2 nails that perfectly. If you're in the mood for pure chaos, this game won't let you down. Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 is like the gold standard for RPG stories, but Witcher 3 hits different. Like, yeah, it's a giant open world full of monsters and war and weird stuff happening in the woods, but deep down, this is just the story of a grumpy old monster hunter trying to find his adopted daughter. That's it, that's the heart, and it's so freaking good. You play as Geralt. White hair, yellow eyes, voiced like he smokes 300 cigarettes a day, but under all that tough guy stuff, he's actually a softie. He's just really bad at showing it. The whole game kicks off with him trying to find Ciri, who's kind of like his kid, even though he's not her real dad. She's in danger, and there's this spooky group called the Wild Hunt chasing her down. So you're like, alright, time to go full dad mode and save my girl.
Elder blood flows in Ciri's veins.
But while you're doing all this dad detective stuff, you also get pulled into literally everything else happening in the world, and the writing is so good, you want to get pulled in. One minute you're chasing leads about Ciri, the next you're helping a dude haunted by a ghost baby, like what? It sounds crazy, but somehow it all fits.
It's a deal.
And the side quests are like, they're not just go kill 5 wolves nonsense. These are full-blown mini-stories. Some of them are better than main stories in other games. Also, shout out to the Bloody Baron quest. You know what I'm talking about, that whole storyline. Bruh, it's dark, it's emotional, and it's not afraid to show messed up people doing messed up things, but in a very human way. Like, you don't agree with everything, but you get it. That's rare in games.
Forgive me. You came, but who I did not embrace.
And then there's the ending, or, well, endings, plural. What happens to Ciri, to Yennefer, to the world? Depends on how you handled stuff. And the moment you realize what ending you got, whew.
Now don't fuck this up.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Assassin's Creed Odyssey takes the series to a whole new level, mixing traditional stealth-based gameplay with deep RPG elements and an epic open world. Set in ancient Greece during the Peloponnesian War, the game gives you the chance to explore one of the most beautifully recreated historical settings ever. The world in Assassin's Creed Odyssey is massive. Greece feels alive and expansive with sprawling cities, ancient ruins, lush forests, and a beautiful coastline. You can explore the entire map at your own pace, hopping between islands and territories as you go. The game's stunning visuals make it feel like you're walking through a living museum, with the architecture, landscapes, and attention to detail all helping to immerse you in the ancient world. The RPG elements are a huge upgrade compared to previous entries. You're not just an assassin seeking around, you're a mercenary with the power to shape your own destiny. You can choose your character's abilities, specialize in different combat styles, and make choices that impact the story. Whether you want to go full warrior, focusing on melee combat, or build a more stealthy bow and arrow focused playstyle, Odyssey gives you the tools to customize how you approach the world. The combat itself is fast, fluid, and satisfying. It's not just about sneaking up on enemies anymore. You can go full on hack and slash, pulling off brutal combos and special abilities, or you can take the tactical approach using your bow from a distance or sneaking around to take out targets quietly. There's also a big emphasis on naval combat, which brings back the iconic ship battles that Assassin's Creed 2 Black Flag introduced. You'll spend time upgrading your ship, recruiting crew members, and sailing through the Aegean Sea, engaging in high seas battles. Assassin's Creed Odyssey also brings back the exploration and discovery aspects that the series is known for. There's no minimap telling you exactly where to go for every mission. You have to actually look for things and explore the world around you. It adds an element of adventure that makes the game feel more immersive, and if you're someone who loves historical settings, the game nails it. The attention to detail in the world and the way it brings ancient Greece to life is something special. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a game that really redefined open world adventure. If you've ever wanted to explore a huge, beautiful world, solve puzzles, fight monsters, and feel like you're on a grand quest, this game nails it. You play as Link, who wakes up from a long slumber to find Hyrule in ruins, with the kingdom on the brink of being overtaken by a dark force called Calamity Ganon. The goal is simple: defeat Ganon and save the kingdom. But what makes Breath of the Wild special is the way it lets you take on that quest. You can go wherever you want, do whatever you want, and tackle the main objective at your own pace. There's no strict linear progression. You're free to explore the vast open world right from the start. The world itself is massive, and every inch of it feels like something new to discover. You can climb almost anything, whether it's the side of a mountain, a tall tower, or even a tree. There's no limit to how you explore, and that freedom makes the world feel endless. Whether you're gliding through the air on your paraglider, cooking up a delicious meal, or solving a puzzle in a hidden shrine, there's always something to do, and it's all rewarding. Combat in Breath of the Wild is also a lot of fun. You can use a wide variety of weapons, from swords and shields to bows and spears. Each weapon has a different feel, and some even break after use, so you'll need to be smart about what you carry and how you approach fights. The game encourages you to be creative, using the environment to your advantage. You can set grass on fire to trap enemies, throw bombs, or even use elemental attacks to exploit weaknesses. One of the coolest features is the game's physics engine. The way the world reacts to your actions is super satisfying. For example, if there's a thunderstorm, metal weapons can attract lightning, making them a dangerous choice during that time. You can also use your magnetism powers to move metal objects, which opens up a ton of puzzle-solving possibilities. It's one of those games where the more you play, the more tricks you learn about how the world works. The story is simple but effective. It's about saving the kingdom, sure, but the heart of Breath of the Wild is in the exploration and discovery. You get small pieces of the past and hints about what happened to Hyrule through memories and environmental storytelling, but it's really about your journey and the experiences you have along the way.